On today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, ESPN's Adam Schefter dropped a lot of nuggets, some news, some rumors on ESPN's draft special yesterday. And we're going to talk about some of those draft rumors and how it impacts the Bears, or at least could impact the Bears come draft night, with the draft set to begin in 9 days. So stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now. Before we get to all of that, who's going to win the NFC North this upcoming season? If you think it is going to be the Bears finally for the first time since 2018, type CHI. If you're going with the Packers, type GB or FGB. How about the Lions? You could type DET if you think they'll repeat. Or if you're rolling with the Vikings, I think they're the least likely, type MIN. Okay, let's get to some NFL draft rumors here. Rome Odunze's draft stock. And look, I think these top three receivers with the Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., Neighbors, it's kind of a pick your flavor. I think most have MHJ 1, Neighbors 2, Odunze 3, but I don't think it's uniform across the NFL, and Adam Schefter is reporting just that. Here's what he had to say. He said, there are teams that have Odunze as the second or even top-rated wide receiver in this draft. I know it sounds crazy, but there are teams that love him. They look at these three elite wide receivers, and teams have different preferences of each one. Odunze has a lot of support as a really clean prospect. He's going to go in the top 10 somewhere high. And if the Bears feel like they can't afford to pass up on a playmaker like that, I don't think they'd have any issue adding another wide receiver to give Caleb Williams even more help. Obviously, we've talked about Odunze, Harrison, and Neighbors a lot. Odunze feels like the popular mock draft selection for most people's mocks at number 9 overall, but what if he is the first or second receiver off the board? That probably means he doesn't fall to 9. The dream still continues to be, for me, that one of these three dudes falls to number 9. Because I think when you're just looking at every prospect in this draft, I think all three of these receivers are top 7, 8-ish prospects in the draft. I think they're all pretty safe. I think they all have high floors and high ceilings as well. We don't know the long-term future of Keenan Allen. Even if you do keep him long-term, no harm in getting Caleb Williams another weapon to grow with as well. I would still have my top preference be to get one of these three guys. Who knows, though? Maybe they're all gone by 9. I still feel like one of them gets there, but we'll see. There's a lot of hype and discussion around these three players, and if it's true that some teams have Odunze 1 or 2 on their board at receiver, that throws a wrench into things. All right, next NFL draft note from Adam Schefter. He made it pretty clear from what he's been hearing that the Minnesota Vikings want Drake Maye. Here's what Schefter had to say. I think Drake Maye is the leader in the clubhouse to be the third QB drafted after Williams and Daniels, but it all depends on the team. If Minnesota were to find a way to get up to 3, my sense is Drake Maye is the preference. Now, you guys know where I stand. I think Drake Maye is the second best quarterback in this draft. I don't want Maye in Minnesota. I would much rather them get a J.J. McCarthy or someone else, even Jaden Daniels, even though it seems pretty clear that he's going to go to Washington, although I don't think that's finalized. I do think Drake, in terms of his potential, his physical attributes, is the second best quarterback in this draft behind Caleb Williams, who is going to be a Chicago Bear, of course. So I don't like the idea of Kevin O'Connell getting his hands on this guy, because I think he's a pretty proven offensive coach in this league, and I think he could unlock Drake Maye's potential. It might take some time, but when you have the physical attributes that he does with his size, his strength, his arm talent, his willingness and ability to attack the middle of the field, and his athleticism, if Kevin O'Connell got the most out of Kirk Cousins, Drake Maye has much more raw talent than Cousins did. Now, I'm not disputing what Cousins is capable of, and obviously Maye's going to be a rookie. It's going to take some time, and he has some things to clean up, obviously. But, man, if you're asking me, as I ask you guys this question, who I'd rather see be a Minnesota Viking in this division and face twice a year for the next 5, 10, 15 years, it would be J.J. McCarthy. Pick a QB for Minnesota. Who would you rather face more consistently for the next several years if they do trade up? Type DM for Drake Maye, JJ for J.J. McCarthy. I would rather face the Michigan man, but maybe you guys disagree. Something you can't disagree with is no one likes a smelly dude. No one likes a foul ball as baseball season is upon us. That's where Mando comes into play, as today's show is sponsored by Mando. Step up to the plate and take your personal hygiene more seriously with the Mando Whole Body Deodorant. It was developed by a doctor. This game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. So don't let foul balls ruin your game anymore. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory. I got the invisible cream deodorant right here. It is fantastic. I think the best deal they have is the starter kit, and you can get $5 off at shopmando.com with promo code chat. That's promo code chat at shopmando.com. You get 4 products in there. The promo code gives you a heavy discount. Go check it out at shopmando.com. Promo code chat. Link is in the comments and in the description. Don't be smelly anymore. Take your hygiene more seriously. Okay, next up here. Are the Patriots staying or trading at the number 3 overall pick? Are they going to stay and pick or trade down? A lot of rumors been circulating there. Schefter on the latest here says the calls are coming in. It's going to take a lot to move off this pick. They are going to listen. Can the Pats entertain the idea of trading back? One thing is certain. Even if New England does trade back, they want a quarterback here. They might jump around like Arizona did last year. So if you remember, last year Arizona traded down from 3 to 12 and then traded back up to 6 to get Paris Johnson Jr. So maybe the Patriots are thinking, okay, we like Drake Maye and J.J. McCarthy similarly. Maybe we trade down from 3 and come back up to like 5 or 6, get a little extra capital along the way. But will the Patriots risk that? If they move back from 3, they may not get one of the top 4 quarterbacks. The Giants at 6, I think, are a threat to get one of these guys, whether they stay there or move up. You know, you could see a team like Denver or Vegas taking a big swing as well. I think when it's all said and done, I expect New England to draft at 3. It's just a matter of who they're going to take. So if a team like the Raiders or even the Giants at 6 or someone else is going to take a big swing, or Minnesota, of course, and move up, it's going to cost a lot. Like, the Patriots are going to charge a big premium to move off that pick because, like Schefter said, even if they trade down, their plan and goal is to come out of this draft with what they hope is a franchise quarterback. This is why you subscribe to the channel, because Bears and NFL draft rumors are heating up with less than 10 days to go until the 2024 NFL draft. We could not be more excited to cover it all for you and do it for 100% free. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We'll be live for all 7 rounds of this year's draft. Sub for Bears Dubs. We'll continue to keep you covered. All right, next up here, Chargers want to go offensive line. This isn't actually or exactly a new thought idea. I mean, Jim Harbaugh always raves about offensive linemen building teams through the trenches. We know that's his strategy and formula. But Schefter kind of tripling down on that, saying, in the end, Jim Harbaugh is going to want to strengthen that line. As great as these receivers are, it's hard for me to imagine he's going that route this early when there will be the chance to address that position at some point in time later on. I think it's pretty clear what the Chargers are going to do. The Chargers are going to take Joe Alt at 5, or they're going to trade out. I would trade out if I were them, because there are a lot of good tackles, and you could get one later on, perhaps with the Bears, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is still available at 5. This is the trade I continue to throw out there. Swap 9 and 5, give the Chargers that Carolina pick next year, which is going to be high. And with the Chargers kind of in a transition year, they could use more capital next season as well. Again, if MHJ is available at 5, I'm considering this. If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm at least picking up the phone and gauging the Chargers' asking price for that selection. Now, LA might be able to get more, especially if one of the top 4 quarterbacks is still there and a QB-needy team is interested in moving up. But we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, that could impact the Bears if the Chargers are a team looking to trade down from 5, but still take an offensive lineman, which they don't have to pick one at 5, considering there are good guys later in the first round. Okay, Brock Bowers' draft range. We haven't talked about him a ton recently just because, you know, tight end's not a major need for the Bears, and while it's a fun pick and I would certainly be excited about it, there are other areas that you need to strengthen more, especially after adding Gerald Everett to pair with Cole Kmet. Schefter says that Bowers will go between 10 and 16 based on what he's been hearing. So as high as the Jets at 10, as low as I think that's Seattle at 16, so somewhere in that range. This is a dynamic playmaker. He's very good after the catch. There's not a perfect comp out there for him. I think he's kind of like I don't know, he's kind of like a George Kittle after the catch, but certainly not the blocker Kittle is. So there's not a perfect comp. But they used him on jet sweeps, got him the ball in space, back shoulder to him over the middle, seam routes. I mean, he really can do it all as a pass catcher. He's more than a tight end as a receiving threat. There's no doubt about it. Now, could the Bears trade down for Bowers? I'm not completely opposed. Like, if the Bears trade down to, say, like 14 or 15, he's still there. That's a very real scenario where he's the top player on Ryan Poles' board, and Poles might be sitting there and saying, you know what, sitting the top need, but you know what it is? It's best player available, and it's another weapon for Caleb Williams. And help for Caleb is good. Like, if you get out of this first round with Caleb and another weapon for him, even if it's a tight end, which isn't considered a top position of need or a premium position, like we know Shane Waldron likes running multi-tight end sets, like I wouldn't be upset with it. So I don't think any pick that helps Caleb Williams offensively is something we should frown at, because the Bears need to do everything in their power to load up around this quarterback, which they've done a pretty good job of already. But if they add even more, I'm not going to be upset, considering the lack of resources put into prior quarterbacks within this franchise. Okay, you make the call. Who do you want the Bears to draft with the number 9 pick in round 1? Maybe you want to trade down for someone. Let us know all of it in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back later today. I think we're going to react to Peter Schrager's mock draft. Some interesting stuff in there, so stay tuned for that. Bear down, and FGB as always.